Romulo and I experienced a bird filming adventure during our England, France, and Switzerland vacation. On June 3rd, we traveled on an overnight flight to Gatwick Airport through Iceland. We arrived on June 4th and traveled immediately by train to York. This historic walled city is a great place to find birds. I woke up early and filmed this blue tit near our bed and breakfast. Blue tits are in the Paraday bird family, along with North American chickadees and titmice. I was able to get very close to this wood pigeon. I then walked along the River Ouse on this trail in a beautiful park setting. I saw a song thrush. This bird is like the wood thrush that I see often back in Maryland, USA. Look at this wren singing loudly on a fence. We enjoyed watching this very musical European robin. Romulo and I spotted a pair of Eurasian magpies. They have a large range throughout Europe and Asia. This ground-feeding dunnock is well camouflaged. A blackbird, very common bird in England. It's nesting season. I also found a juvenile blackbird. Blackbirds are in the thrush family. I filmed this melodious bird in Australia. At this York park, I was able to film this family of moorhens. On Thursday, June 6th, after enjoying our filling British breakfast at our Bridlington Bed and Breakfast, we visited Bempton Cliffs Nature Reserve. Many pelagic birds are nesting on these steep cliffs. Royal Society for the Protection of Birds volunteer guide Gary Duckwith helped us locate pelagic birds throughout the sunny day. Hundreds of pairs of northern gannets nest on Bempton Cliffs. We did not get tickets to view the cliffs from the Yorkshire Bell. The windy day made the boat much too tipsy for filming birds. I was able to film a nesting colony of northern gannets very close to the cliff's edge. The northern gannets were everywhere as seen from my vantage point. This razorbill has a hatchet-shaped bill used to capture fish up to 330 feet underwater. Listen to the razorbill's nasal growling calls. They sound a bit like a miniature chainsaw. Here are some nesting guillemot. In North America, these birds are called common murres. Most guillemots spend their winters out at sea. In the spring, you'll find them at Bempton Cliffs nesting. This one is perched precariously on a ledge. Razorbills and guillemots, shown here, dive from the surface of the ocean down to capture fish. Notice this gull has a yellow bill. It's a kittiwake. It's nesting among all the other kittiwakes on the cliffs. If you listen closely, they say their own name, kittiwake, kittiwake. These kittiwakes are gathering nesting material. When not breeding on cliffs, these fulmars spend most of the time out at sea. The blue areas on this map shows where the bird flies and dives into the water or skims the surface to feed on fish, squid, and other sea life over a wide expanse of ocean. The yellow shaded areas on the map show where the bird nests. Have you ever gulped down seawater? Ugh. This bird does gulp up salty seawater when feeding on fish. Fulmars have a bill that is made of plates and the nostrils are inside one of them in the shape of a tube. The fulmar then excretes salt as a strong saline solution through the tube. Most everyone visiting Bempton Cliffs want to see a puffin. I zoomed in on this pair. Puffins nest in burrows. This one was still digging its burrow when I filmed it on that sunny day on Bempton Cliffs. Look at this jackdaw. Like Frank Sinatra, it has blue eyes. Jackdaws are in the same family as crows. They will often get a meal by grabbing the eggs from guillemot and puffin nests. After eating our picnic lunch, we saw this ringneck pheasant at the Bempton Theater. Back at the Bridlington Harbor, I spotted these ruddy turnstones. On Friday, June 7, we took a train back to London. On Saturday, we met London-based birder Joe East. We all traveled east by subway and train to Rainham Marsh near the Thames River. We found many different species of birds in this extensive marshland. This is the first place I saw and heard a chit-chat. We also observed this family of European mallards. I also got some great footage of male and female gadwall ducks, and also a family of Eurasian coot. In the United States, great egrets almost became extinct because the birds were slaughtered to adorn ladies' hats. Many protested. The killing of the birds was outlawed, and the Audubon Society was formed. At Rainham Marsh, we saw the fish-diving great-crested grebe. This bird almost disappeared because it was also killed for ladies' hats. The Royal Society for the Protection of Birds was set up to help protect this species, which again is a common sight. At Rainham, we also observed a tufted duck, a relative of our lesser and greater skulks. This one has a peculiar head tuft. I was able to get great but fleeting footage of a reed warbler and also a sedge warbler. Let's face it, North American warblers are much more colorful. On Sunday and Monday morning, I woke up early and birded in Hyde Park. This large park has plenty of birds. Here is a graceful mute swan. These large European swans have been introduced into the United States. This great spotted woodpecker drills into the tree with its sharp beak and grabs insects with its long barb-ended tongue. In England, 50 years ago, ringneck parakeets escaped from cages. This species of parakeet is now numerous in Hyde Park. This is the male showing its ring neck.
Do I have enough fire?
A long time ago, this bird was given the name chaffinch because after farmers threshed their crops, these birds sometimes spent weeks picking through heaps of discarded chaff or grain. Here is a Eurasian jay. It is an omnivore, feeding on insects in the summer and also acorns in the fall and winter. Jays are definitely not friendly visitors of other birds' nests. During my time in China, helping Chinese researchers study the black-throated bush tit, the video camera caught a Eurasian jay feeding on a fledgling bush tit. This blue tit is busy preening. I was able to get close to quite a few tits in Hyde Park, including this juvenile blue tit. Great tits are very agile gleaners of caterpillars and other crawling insects found on leaves. This bird is feeding among basswood leaves. On Sunday, June 8th, we toured London. Romulo's former colleague, Joseph, toured us around London. On Monday, June 10, we hopped on a train to Cambridge. We booked a Cam River punting tour. On the next day, Cambridge professor Oliver Burton drove us to Fen Drayton Reserve for a day of birding. Here is the eBird track showing our birding route around the lakes and marshes of Fen Drayton. Up in the tree, I filmed a European goldfinch. This long-tailed tit was very difficult to film as it fluttered through the brush. Next to the marsh, we also saw a flock of gray-legged geese. I was standing in a mud puddle when I filmed this female whitethroat. On Wednesday, June 12th, we flew to Paris. We climbed halfway up the Eiffel Tower and got some spectacular views of Paris. On Saturday, June 15, we boarded a train to Strasbourg, France. We were met at the Strasbourg train station by Romulo's cousin Marites and her French husband Jose with daughters Kim and Nina. Marites and Jose live in a beautiful town in the outskirts of Strasbourg. We enjoyed their company and their fine wine and food. The produce was from Marites' garden. I woke up early to find this European goldfinch singing out loud. From an upstairs window, I was able to film a pair of storks sitting on their nest. Storks make a clattering sound with their bills. White storks feed in farm fields and grassy areas on insects, frogs, birds, and small mammals. The green shaded areas on the map show where white storks nest in the summer. The blue areas on the map show where storks spend the winter, mostly in Africa and India. I did locate a white stork nest with a young bird. On Monday, June 17, we took the train from Strasbourg to Lucerne, Switzerland. From our hotel, we had a beautiful view of Mount Pilatus, our destination for the next day. We traveled on a Lucerne Lake tour boat to get to the cog railway station at the base of Mount Pilatus. I filmed a pair of beautiful red-crested potsherds on the lake. We traveled up to the mountaintop on the cog railway. At the top, we had a beautiful view of the Lucerne Valley below. From the mountaintop, I was able to zoom in on the hotel where we spent the night. The air is thinner on the almost 7,000 feet Mount Pilatus mountaintop. That's where you'll find the alpine chough. Alpine choughs build their nests up to 21,000 feet higher than any other bird species. They have been observed following mountaineers ascending Mount Everest. We rode the aerial tram called the Dragon Ride back to Lucerne. On our last full day in Switzerland, Romulo and I hiked on trails in the nearby forest. I also looked for birds. Not much success. However, I did zoom up to a European goldfinch, spotted a chaffinch in a spruce tree, and got pretty close to this black redstart. On Thursday, June 20, we took a train back to Paris. And then on Friday, we flew back to Baltimore. Thank you for watching our European bird sighting video. This video was created by me, Marty Brazo. Please subscribe to my channel and like this video.